experiences in the past.
Locations are largely dependent on the part of the song. During the courses, we're looking to use progressively more open spaces. This is a connotation of the exposure theme we are working with. During verses, we're looking at more narrative-specific locations. This allows us to drive the narrative through the use of location.
What we mean by that is, throughout the video, we don't want it to be in one location, like the school. We want to make sure what's going on within the lyrics and what's going on within the story and the narrative. We want it to fit exactly the video behind it. So say we were to watch a character break down in front of his friends, we don't want it to just be in like a classroom because it doesn't look professional. We need it to be in an environment where it actually happened, so we want it to be realistic.
So this is what I'm talking about with the televised violence, but you can see we're going to start off fine and it's going to get worse and worse, and by the end of the video you're looking at someone who is broken not only mentally but also physically, and like Charlie mentioned earlier, we're going to be using that through things like the plasters and the blood down the nose. It's really going to be obvious and we're going to really drive that home. But I think you can see for yourself the sort of thing we're going for, so I don't think we need to go into too much detail there.
With the actual breaking down of me as the character, we don't want it to be as like a cliche, he's beaten up. What the actual injuries, like the nose bleeding and the plasters and just looking broken physically, is more of a representation of his mental state. Like you can't always see someone's mental state, so we kind of really want to look into mental illness and how people aren't always able to see what is wrong with someone, but we're showing it through a physical state as well.
We've never really specifically said, because we've all agreed, that showing actual cliche images of people getting punched in the face or violence just wouldn't work, so that's why, like you said, we're only going to subtly hint towards what's going to happen.
Now you might have been wondering earlier when I was mentioning about getting further zoomed out, we are making this quite extreme, so we're going to really start close in, only reveal part of the face, and that again, you know, I'm only human after all, we're going to try and really drive home the whole idea of like honing in on like human aspects of the face. I suppose it's quite an abstract idea, but it's what we're going for. So we're starting off really close up, and this is, you know, low exposure, not much going on, the artist is quite contained within themselves. They get more confident, it starts to zoom out, we're looking at sort of like a medium shot, a mid shot with that, and then by the end of the song, you know, we've got a really powerful chorus to end it, and that's going to be finished with Tom, who we believe to be our
rag and bone man.
Yeah, our rag and bone man of this video. He's going to end the video, you know, really confident, expressive, and we're going to use quite a wide lens to sort of help really pull in that exposure idea. Cool.
So I've been really looking at promotional ideas and how we could get this video across to everyone, this song across to our whole target audience, but not only our target audience, but also other people that maybe we're not aiming for, but a viewer's a view that we look at. So a really big thing for us is TikTok, because of its huge fan base and how many people use it day to day. We want to almost contact people that are high up in the TikTok community and then get them to make a video or a dance or some kind of craze so it goes viral. So that's our idea of viral marketing. Another way we could do this is by sending the song to radio stations across the world. So by targeting every kind of global aspect of this. So by doing that, we get a wider target audience again. Pop-up shows will also be really important. So we'll get our artists to just randomly show up at places like the mall or places where the public are. With no organisation, so people just get around and then it will go viral for people posting about it.
On that note, thank you, and yeah, we invite you to ask any questions. Go for it.
So are your lyrics, are the lyrics of Rag and Bone Human going to correspond to your performance, or are you going to try and take another meaning to those lyrics?
Absolutely, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
As we said, with I'm Only Human, that's what we're looking at. We're looking at it in so many different aspects, not just for relationships between people, for like a mental state. It's more about how he feels, and it's how two different people can understand and interpret his lyrics.
As we said, with the lyrics, I'm only human after all, you could apply that to almost every scenario in real life. It's because of the scope of those lyrics, like we said, it is a very, you know, it's a song that we can really play around with. And
So really wide.
On a more specific note as well, if specific lyrics itself, because it's a televised bard, we will not actually, or we could, but we're not still debating about whether actually incorporating actions to do with the actual text itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's also within the lyrics, we didn't say it, but it goes, I'm only human, don't put the blame on me. So we will basically want to show that this character that we're presenting in two different aspects, one being broken, one taking it into its stride, is that if we were always to blame people for doing stuff, for example, when he's exposed, we're blaming him for doing something wrong. That's what we don't want to do. We want to present it as everyone is only human.
Any more
Questions?
Yeah, I think it's a really good presentation, and I was going to ask you, halfway through I was thinking, this is great, what kind of shots are you going to use? And then you've actually gone on to explain exactly what shots you would use in certain situations, which is great. But further on from that, I'm thinking about, have you got any details about props, mise en scène, and locations, and where it's going to be shot, and how they're going to look, how they're going to be dressed?
Yeah, so we want the star image of the artist. That's going to be very much dark because it is, like we said, a British song. We're using those dark colours. So we're going to sort of go dark, potentially like dark jeans and a black hoodie, really dark colours because we think that colour reflects the song quite nicely. In terms of spaces, like we said with the commercial exhibitionist, actually go back to the commercial exhibitionist slide. Yeah. You see how the shots get wider. We probably won't go with the school's front field, but it depends.
We'll probably find that. I maybe feel like a hayfield or like a farmer's field where there's literally no one there, and it's just one character. And when we're looking at mise en scène and what people would be wearing, as we said, we want to start off with the person who's not exposed, and he's going to be happy and really like mentally healthy. So we want him to be in his like nice clothes and feeling almost good about himself. And as the video goes on, we want him to slowly, like little details like his clothes will be different, slowly like really dark black colours and almost like not homeless, but like you just see breaking down. And then you've got our commercial, so he will be starting off like he'll still be in a good state, but as the video goes on, he'll be more with a centre role and wear clothes that are quite out there and show that he's confident and he builds on that.
Would it be some kind of like materialism? I don't want to use the word bling, but you know where I'm going with it.
Exactly.
Sort of like the success and the
stuff like that.
Again, it is the make or break idea of exposure, and for the commercial exhibitionist element of the video, the artist is absolutely being made by exposure. So
But with props, I don't think we'll be using too many. I think it's not really about, almost it's about materialistic, but it's not about what he's holding and what he's got. It's more about him as a person,
how he feels.
and how he feels, and how he's going to represent himself.
if there are props, it'll be very subtle. So
And it's basically, it's not really props, but you can use the clothing to almost represent.
the
Yeah.
clothing is a reflection of their mental state. That's how.
Yeah.
that's
And with location, we haven't decided yet exactly where we want to go, because we want to make sure what we choose looks professional.
But some really good shots, I think, and we all think, which we should include, should maybe be in a car, so we can catch lots of tight shots of him being trapped or going through
That's what
tunnels.
that's what we'll be doing. Right?
Exactly.
So we want to be using that. And finally, when we're looking at like scenes like this, we're going to make sure that we get it in a place where we feel as though it doesn't look. Cause a lot of people, when they shoot things like this, they use what's around them, which is like the school, which is good. But we want that really professional look, so we'll be going to places and probably across around where we are to make sure it looks professional.
Absolutely.
Right.
Any more
Any more questions? No. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Well done.